Hey, what's going on, guys? So, Clair Obscur Expedition 33 has just rolled out its April 9th hotfix, and this one is all about cleaning up some frustrating issues that could get in the way of a run or make combat feel way off. The biggest fix in this update is for burn damage, because after the last update, that status effect was not being calculated properly, which meant players were seeing much lower damage than the game was actually supposed to deal. That kind of thing matters a lot in a game like this, because if a damage over time effect stops doing what it is supposed to do, your whole setup can feel weaker than it really is. This hotfix also lines up with the game's newer update 1.500.400 release on April 9, 2026, and the publicly reported notes describe it as a bug fix-focused patch with stability and gameplay improvements. Now, the good news is that this update is not just one of those one-bug-fixed move-on patches. It also tackles a nasty journal issue that could happen when you loaded a save while picking one up. In that situation, the journal could disappear permanently, which is the kind of thing that would drive completionists absolutely insane. The patch fixes that problem, and even better, if you already had a save that was affected, the missing journals are supposed to be restored retroactively when you load that save again. That is a really nice touch because it means the fix is not only for new situations going forward, but also helps clean up existing saves that got hit by the issue. There's also a soft lock fix that should make a very specific encounter a lot safer now. In the chromatic glissando fight in Serene Stress, the game could get stuck if a dead expeditioner with shortcut and second chance pictos got swallowed. That is exactly the sort of strange edge case that sounds impossible until it happens to you, and then suddenly your entire mood for the night is ruined. With this update, that encounter should no longer trap players in that broken state. So if somebody was stuck there before, this is the kind of fix that can save a run and save a controller from being thrown across the room. And honestly, that is not even the only save-related problem this patch cleans up. On Gestural Beach, there was another issue where using the rematch option after losing the volleyball minigame could create a blocked save. That is one of those bugs that sounds harmless at first, but once your save gets blocked, it becomes a serious problem because now the game is not just awkward, it is preventing normal progress. This update addresses that too, which should make that whole area much safer to revisit and less stressful if you lose the minigame and decide to try again. There is also a visual fix that might not sound as dramatic as the gameplay problems, but it definitely helps with polish. If a character was affected by inverted, their eyes were not always getting the correct color effect applied. That kind of detail can seem minor on its own, but in a game with such a strong art direction, visual consistency matters a lot. When effects are working properly, combat reads better, characters look the way they should, and the whole presentation feels more intentional. So, even though this is not a headline-grabbing change, it is exactly the kind of cleanup that makes the experience feel more finished. Put all of that together, and this hotfix feels like a very practical quality-of-life pass. It is not a giant content drop, and it is not trying to reinvent anything, but it does fix a real damage calculation problem, protect journals from vanishing, restore affected journal progress, prevent a nasty soft lock in a major encounter, stop a blocked save problem on Gestural Beach, and correct the inverted eye effect. That is the kind of update that players usually appreciate most after the fact, because it removes the annoying stuff that gets in the way of actually enjoying the game. If you were building around burn, hunting journals, or pushing through those tougher encounters, this patch should make the whole experience feel a lot smoother.